So, Appendix 6 Constitutional Amendment Acts at a glance. So, amendment number and year and amendment provisions of the Constitution. So, first Amendment Act 1951 it empowered the state to make special provisions for the advancement of socially and economically backward classes. Empowered the states to make special provisions for the advancement of socially and economically backward classes, provided for the savings of laws, providing for the acquisition of estates, etc. 3. Added ninth schedule to protect the land reform. Added ninth schedule to protect the land reform and other laws included. So added ninth schedule to protect the land reforms and other laws included in it from the judicial review. So four added three more rounds on restrictions on freedom of speech, of restrictions on freedom of speech and expression, that is publicly ordered, friendly relations and foreign states, and incitement to an offence. Also made the restrictions reasonable and thus justiciable in nature, provided that state tradings and nationalizations of any trade or business. So, First Amendment Act provided that the state trading, the nationalization of any trade or business by the state is not to be invalid on the ground of violation of the right to trade or business. So state trading and nationalization of any trade or business by the state is not to be invalid on the ground of violation of the right to trade or business. The First Amendment Act added three more rounds of restrictions on freedom of speech and expression, public order, friendly relations in foreign states, and incitement to an offence. Also made the restrictions reasonable and thus justiciable in nature. Second Amendment Act 1952 readjusted the scale of representation in the Lok Sabha by providing that one member could represent even more than 7,80,000 persons. Second schedule rejected the scale of representation in the Lok Sabha by borrowing that the member could represent more than 7,50,000 persons. Third Amendment Act 1954 empowered the Parliament to control the production, supply, distribution of the foodstuffs, cattle fodder, raw cotton seed. Raw jute in the public interest. Fourth Schedule 1955 made the scale of compensation given in lieu of compulsory acquisition of private property beyond the scrutiny of courts, authorized the state to nationalize any trade, included some more acts in the ninth schedule, extended the scope of Article 1331A, saving of laws. Fifth Amendment Act 1955 empowered the President to fix the time limit for the state legislature. President to fix the time limit for the state legislature to express their views on the proposed central legislation. For the state legislature to express their view on the proposed central legislation affecting the areas, boundaries, and names of the states. Sixth Amendment Act 1956 included the new subject in the Union list, that is taxes on the sale and purchase of goods in the course of interstate trade and commerce, and restricted the state's power in this regard. Seventh Amendment Act 1956 abolished the existing classification of states into the four categories: Seventh Amendment Act abolished the existing classification of states and into four categories: Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D, and reorganized them 14 states and 6 union territories, extended the jurisdiction of the High Courts to union territories, provided for the establishment of a common High Court for two or more states, provided for the appointment of additional and acting judges of the High Court. 8th Amendment Act 1960 extended the reservation of the seats and for the SC, ST and special representation for the Anglo-Indians in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies for a period of 10 years up to the 1970. 9th Amendment Act facilitated the cession of Indian territory of Beriberi Union located in the West Bengal to Pakistan as provided in the India-Pakistan Agreement 1958. 10th Amendment Act 1961 incorporated the Dadra and Nagar Haveli in the Indian Union. 11th Amendment Act 1961 changed the procedure of election of the Vice President, providing for the Electoral College instead of a joint meeting for the two houses of the Parliament, provided that the election of the President or Vice President cannot be challenged on the ground of any vacancy in the appropriate Electoral College. 12th Amendment Act 1962 incorporated Goa, Daman, Diu and the Indian Union. 13th Amendment Act of 1962 gave status of a state to Nagaland and made special provisions for it. 14th Amendment Act of 1962 incorporated Puducherry in the Indian Union and provided for the certain of legislatures and the Council of Ministers for the Union Territories of Himachal Pradesh, Manipur, Tripura, Goa, Daman and Diu and Puducherry. 15th Amendment Act of 1963. So next time we discuss 15th Amendment Act because it's too long. So next time we discuss it because 100th Amendment Act we gave to the acquiring of certain territories of India by India and transfer of certain other territories to Bangladesh, exchange of enclaves and retention to adverse possessions in pursuance to the Land Boundary Agreement of 1974 and its protocol of 2011. For this purpose, this amendment amended the provisions relating to the territories of four states: Assam, West Bengal, Meghalaya, and Tripura. The first schedule of the Constitution, 99 Amendment Act, 2014. Replace the collegium system of appointing judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts with a new body called National Judicial Appointment Commission. However, 2015, the Supreme Court has declared the Amendment Act as unconstitutional and void. Consequently, the earlier collegium system became operative again. Article 124, 27, 127, 128, 2017, 2022, 224 and 231 and inserted Article 224A and 124B and 124C. National NJSC, collegium system appointing the judges of Supreme Court and High Court, a new body National Judicial Appointment Commission, NJSC. 98th Amendment Act 2012 provided the special status for the Hyderabad and Karnataka region for the state of Karnataka, special provisions to establish and institutional mechanism for equitable allocation of funds and to meet the development needs of the region as well as to enhance human resource and promote employment from the region by providing the local cadres and service and reservation in the educational and professional training institution. Article 371J and 96th Amendment Act, Odia would become Odisha. 2011, Odia become Odia, ORIA. The substituted Odia for Odia. Consequently, the Odia language in the English schedule shall be pronounced as Odia. 97th Amendment Act gave a constitutional status and protection of cooperative studies in the context and it made the following three categories of the constitution. It made the right to form cooperative societies a fundamental rights. Article 19 it included the a new directive principles of state policy on promotion of cooperative societies. Article 43b he added a new part of 9 part 9b of the constitution which is entitled the cooperative society. Article 43 ZH and ZT. 92nd Amendment included four more languages in the English schedule: Bodo, Dogri, Maithili, and Santali. Where the total number of constitutionally recognized languages increased 22. And 93rd Amendment Act 2005 empowered the state to make special provision for the socially and educationally backward classes or the scheduled caste or scheduled tribes in educational institutions, including private educational institutions, whether aided and unaided by the state, except the minority educational institution. So, Article 15, the amendment was enacted to nullify the Supreme Court judgment in the Inamdar case 2005, where the apex court ruled that the state cannot impose the reservation policy and minority and non-minority unaided private colleges, including professional colleges. The court declared that reservation in private and unaided educational institution was unconstitutional. 94th, freed Bihar from the obligation of having the tribal welfare minister and extended the same provision to Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh. This provision will now be applicable to newly formed states of Madhya Pradesh and Odisha, where it has been in force. Article 164 and 95th Amendment Act 2009 and extended the reservation of the seats for SC/ST and special representation for the Indian app and in the Lok Sabha and the state legislative assemblies for the period of 10 years up to 2020. So now we discuss 92nd to all. Okay, next time discuss another. So thank you friends. Salva.